Press Secretary Sarah Sanders joins us now. Sarah, thank you for joining us this morning. You put out that statement saying the stories are fabricated. The president himself said it could be just made up by the author. But as you know, Bob Woodward has hundreds of hours of tapes. Are you really standing by the assertion that he's just making these stories up?
Look, he may have hundreds of hours of tapes, but I think most of those probably come from some disgruntled former employees. It's a lot of anonymous sources. What I can tell you is I've worked alongside the president, under the president, for the last 3 years. I was part of his campaign. I've been part of the administration since day one. And I can tell you that the president, everything so far that I've seen out of this book doesn't depict what's going on in the building behind me. The president laid out an agenda very clearly during the campaign. And since day one of taking office, he's delivering on that agenda every single day. You can't have the type of success that this president has had if what that book says is true. Well, and you have people like General Mattis, General Kelly, two American heroes, come out and call the book pure fiction. I would certainly rather take the word of those two individuals than a couple of disgruntled former employees that are anonymously attacking this president, trying to make him look bad for no other reason, I guess, than to build themselves up.
They did go on the record, but as you know, some of the stories in this book are tracking with other books that have come out about this White House, with reporting that comes out every day about the White House. You haven't seen denials from Steve Bannon or Reince Priebus or Gary Cohn or H.R. McMaster. And Bob Woodward has a reputation spanning 5 decades. I want to show you what one of your predecessors, Ari Fleischer, worked for George W. Bush, said. He said, "Never once, never did I think Woodward made it up. Woodward always plays it straight. Someone told it to him." And even President Trump, in that phone call we just saw with Bob Woodward, said Woodward had always been fair.
Sorry, George, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, but the first part of your question I did hear, which was clear, is you said there's a lot of books coming out of this White House that say similar stories. The things that I see coming out of this White House are the president delivering on historic tax cuts, delivering on building a booming economy, delivering on rebuilding our military, delivering on remaking the judiciary, delivering on cutting regulation after regulation. What I see come out of this building is pure and total success. He's had the most successful 2 years in any president in modern history, and we're continuing to do that every single day. Just last week, the president announced a new and better trade deal with Mexico, something that people said could never happen. We're starting negotiations back up with Canada this week. We've renegotiated the trade deal with South Korea, with the EU. The president is delivering on success, and that's what I see coming out of this building.
Why?
And frankly, that's what the American people see, and that's what they care about.
Why didn't
they don't care about another book that has a lot of salacious stories and names that frankly have been told, and this is just another repeat of pure fiction.
Why didn't the president speak to Bob Woodward?
Look, I can't get into the internal deliberations. I can tell you, obviously, the president would have wanted to. He knows he's his own best advocate. He also knows that he's got a great story to tell for the reasons that I just laid out, the many successes that he's had. He's delivered on everything he's promised and set out to do. And the president is the most accessible president I think that we've seen. And somebody that certainly enjoys engaging with the press. George, he sat down with you
I understand
not too long ago, and he enjoys doing that.
I got to ask you about this tweet the president put out over Labor Day. So many Republican senators are saying he crossed a line in this tweet, saying 2 long-running Obama investigations of 2 very popular Republican congressmen were brought to a well-publicized charge just ahead of the midterms by the Jeff Sessions Justice Department. 2 easy wins now in doubt because there's not enough time. Why does the president think these are flawed prosecutions? It sounds like he's castigating the Justice Department for not protecting his allies in Congress.
I think the president's focus, I can't get into ongoing investigations, but I can tell you is the president's made clear that he's unhappy with the fact that he feels like there's often a double standard that takes place in the Department of Justice, and he wants to see a level
Where's the
playing
double
field.
standard here?
Look,
what's wrong with these prosecutions?
Look, nobody disagrees with the fact if someone does something wrong, it should be looked into. And the president wants that same type of fervor applied to some of the people that have been so politically biased against him and so politically biased against Republicans and conservatives to be looked at as well. And that's what the president's talking about.
Sarah Sanders, thanks for your time this morning. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.